Hi everybody, we're back. Okay, this is it. The Halloween video we promised you, and guess what? It's a complete disaster. Big time fail on my part, terrible planning. I had this great vision of what this video was going to be, and unfortunately it's not going to be that. So we're going to talk a little bit about Halloween, we're going to show you some stuff, but unfortunately I can't show you everything I wanted to show you, and I'll explain why as we go along. So the first thing we want to talk about is just what is Halloween? Where did it come from? Why do we celebrate it? What are the different aspects of celebrating Halloween? As you may or may not know, Halloween typically, according to history, actually started in Scotland as a, Scotland/Ireland, as a Celtic harvest festival. So according to the good old Wikipedia, Halloween is a contraction, which is a contraction of All Hallows Evening, is a celebration observed in many countries on 31 October, the eve of the Western Christian feast of All Hallows Day. It begins the observance of All Hallowtide. Have you ever heard of All Hallowtide? No. I've never heard of the All Hallowtide. The time in the liturgical year dedicated to remembering the dead, including saints, aka Hallows, martyrs, and all the departed. So, again, some people think that it was started by Celtic harvest festivals, which were like these pagan festivals called Samhain. You've probably heard of that. But anyway, once again, something else that we imported from you guys and then took over and went crazy with. So what are the traditions of Halloween? So what are some things that we do for Halloween? Decorate. That's his favorite. We're going to get more into that later. What do we do with pumpkins?
Carve them.
We carve pumpkins into jack-o'-lanterns. All right, how's it going, buddy?
Disgusting.
Disgusting?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the pattern that he's going to try to make for his pumpkin. And he is doing his least favorite part, which is cleaning out all the guts. Slimy, disgusting guts. Enzo, for those of you who may not know this, hates anything slimy touching his hands. Isn't that right?
Who likes that?
I don't know. Some people probably like it. But anyway. All right, we'll see how it goes. All right, Enzo, what do you think of my pumpkin?
It's pretty good.
Oh, thanks. All right, here. So here's the design I did. I always like to go for the most bang for the buck, which means the coolest design I can find online with the least amount of work. So this seemed to qualify for me. So now in Ireland and Scotland, apparently it was a turnip that was carved into something, not a pumpkin. But we had lots of pumpkins here, so we decided to do that. What else do you do for Halloween?
Trick or treat.
Trick or treating, and how? Tell us how that works. What do you do?
Go to people's.
You just dress like you are right now.
No, you dressed up in a costume.
You dress in a costume. That's right. And do you know why people dress in costumes?
No.
Well, they think it's because since there were supposedly spirits running about on All Hallows Eve, they figured that if they wore a costume and disguised themselves, that any vengeful spirits would not be able to recognize them to exact their revenge. So that is supposedly the reason that people dress up on Halloween. So you dress up in some kind of costume, and what were you this year?
I was a creepy man.
A creepy man. So not much different than normal. Ooh! Anyway, so creepy man. All right, so how do you go trick-or-treating?
You go to people's doors and knock on them or ring the doorbell and say trick or treat, and then they give you candy. Or if they're bucket outside, you take candy from the bucket.
You take candy from the bucket. And what's your favorite candy that you got this year? Did you get anything really unusual?
I don't know. I haven't even looked at it.
You haven't got. He had like a pillowcase full of candy, and you haven't even looked through it yet?
I've seen some.
Yeah.
Like Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, Sour Patch Kids. You love those. Okay, so
I can't have them anymore.
Yeah, well, somebody's getting braces next week, and so he's not going to be able to have a lot of sticky/chewy things. So apparently the origin of trick-or-treating comes from the baking and sharing of soul cakes. I don't know what that is. It sounds a little bit creepy. The only other tradition really that I could think of for Halloween was a game called Bobbing for Apples. Apparently in Scotland this is called Dooking for Apples. D-O-O-K-I. Well, that was a thing that we used to do as kids when we were younger. That I don't really see people doing that much. So it's like basically a big bin or a bucket or like kind of part of a barrel.
I know what it is, but why is that a Halloween thing?
I don't know. It's just a Halloween tradition. So those are the normal traditions. Here's the really weird thing, though. especially since we do a lot of stuff about food on our channel. Ugh.
Mine be.
Somebody just had some food, apparently. How was it the second time?
Huh?
Never mind. There really are not that many traditional Halloween foods, to be honest, other than candy for trick-or-treating. Oh, there is one thing. I'm going to go get it really quick. Okay, so the one Halloween food that I can remember as far back as I can remember is a caramel apple, and there's a particular brand that has been around forever. This is called Affy-Tapple, which is a play on taffy apple, and it's basically an apple on a stick covered in caramel and then covered on top of the caramel with crushed peanuts. And these have been around for since 1948. They've been making these, and this is the original version with the peanuts on it. That's the. Now we're not actually going to eat these. First of all, because we bought them like a week and a half ago, and I don't think they're still good. And also because Enzo just noticed that there was some kind of bug crawling around inside the package, which is open on this side. So these are going in the garbage. But we do have our own traditions as far as food goes. So every Halloween, the two things that we always have for dinner are chili, or as you might call it, chili con carne, and cornbread of some type, whether it's cornbread muffins or a cornbread loaf or something like that. Now, I make a pretty darn good chili. This kid doesn't really love chili. I love chili. And I make mine with beef short rib and ground pork, or as you might call it, pork mince, along with roasted poblano peppers, and there's onion and garlic in there, and some tomatoes, and a few different spices. I don't use a chili spice mix. I use cumin and ancho chili powder, and there's some other things in there, Worcester sauce, and some horseradish, a few other things, but man, it is so good. So those are really the only traditions that we have food-wise in our family. Of course, another thing that's really popular is people going to parties. Halloween costume parties are a big deal, especially for people who are younger, you know, either in high school or in college or young adults. That's a big deal. Amusement parks usually have some kind of Halloween celebration. So if you're Disney fans, as you know, every year the Disney parks do big Halloween celebrations here in the U.S.
Universal does huge.
Universal theme parks, there are two of those, and they do big Halloween celebrations as well. And even smaller amusement parks that are more amusement parks versus theme parks, like there's a chain of amusement parks in the U.S. called Six Flags. And they do a big Halloween thing every year as well. And then on top of that, there are also haunted houses that these are sort of walk-through attractions, and those are kind of standalone, like they're just temporary things that open up during the Halloween time of year, and you pay a certain amount of money and you walk through and people jump out and scare you and try to kill you and stuff like that.
And like in Universal, they have all these haunted houses according to the movies of different horror movies.
What are some examples?
Like The Ring, Exorcist, Stranger Things.
There's a Stranger Things haunted house? Oh my gosh, that would be so cool to go through.
Trick or Treat, Pennywise, or It.
It, yeah.
Michael Myers, Jason.
Friday the 13th,
Purge.
and Halloween, The Purge. Yeah, I've never seen a lot of these movies. I'm not a huge horror movie fan. It depends. If they're like scary, I'm okay with that. I don't like gory stuff. Like that doesn't interest me at all.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, yeah, that I've watched some of. So the haunted houses. And then another thing that we see a lot of is we have, since we're in the Midwest, and this is, you know, outside of the city areas, there's a lot of farms and it's kind of corn country. This part of the United States is sometimes referred to as the Corn Belt. There are a lot of these family-run farm stands that are huge. So they have a couple of buildings devoted to selling things, and around Halloween they'll do like a big corn maze that you can go through. I'm sure a lot of you guys might be familiar with this kind of thing. And sometimes they have a little carnival and a petting zoo. They sell pumpkins, so you can go pick your own pumpkin.
Where there's like horror. There's like one that's like a horror corn maze.
Yeah.
There's people in it.
Oh, that jump out and scare you? That's actually kind of a cool idea. But I think your favorite thing, even more than trick-or-treating, you love to decorate for Halloween, don't you? So we're going to show you what Enzo did this year. So what are some of your favorite things as far as decorating goes?
On one side, I had a like a corn pumpkin area, which had a lot of pumpkins and stuff like that. And then it had like a scarecrow, and it had a huge animatronic man eating plants.
Very cool. This kid loves animatronics. So, these are the big decorations that move and make sounds and things like that. And he got this really cool one this year that is a giant man-eating plant, which you'll see on the video clip.
And in the middle is kind of like the clown area. So there's a huge Jack-in-the-Box clown.
Creepy.
Like,
Clowns, almost always creepy.
A little Jack-in-the-Box with times like 50.
That's right. Oh dear. Sorry.
And then there's 2 talking head clowns, so they like talk and their heads on
like clown
sticks.
heads on a stick, yeah.
And then then on the other side there's a graveyard.
The graveyard is super cool.
With 5 animatronics in it. One jumping spider, a swinging skeleton boy.
Bing.
The 3 ghosts.
Bing.
A grave digger.
Bing.
And a skeleton that is like, it's called Cauldron Creep, and he's like a skeleton that's storing a cauldron, and fog comes out of it. And we have tombstones and guys that come out the ground. We're trying to break out the ground. And skeletons and hanging guys and hanging guys and hanging guys.
Lots of things. And I just want you to know, as you're looking at these videos of his decorations, that he designed the whole layout. I was out there just putting stuff where he told me to put it. So I think you did a great job designing our layout this year. So what I had intended to show you guys was some of the places where you can go to buy all these Halloween things. So Target has a huge Halloween section every year. We have these big box home improvement stores called Home Depot, and they usually have a really big Halloween display every year where you can buy lots of cool things, lights and decorations and some animatronics. The biggest one, though, and these are standalone stores, and it's called Spirit. Now, Spirit is owned by a company called Spencer's. Spencer's sells novelties and gifts. They were a really popular mall store, especially in the 80s, and they're still around here and there, but Spirit is a big business for them every year. So that what they do is they rent out vacant stores in strip malls in different parts of the country, and they sell tons and tons of Halloween decorations, costumes, makeup for costumes, and animatronics and all housewares and things like that, but all Halloween themed. So what I had intended to show you was going into each of these places, and you'll see in the video that I'm overlaying here. When I went into Target, most of the Halloween stuff was already gone, and they were actually starting to put out Christmas things already. Then Enzo and I went to Spirit, which you'll see here, and it was really close to Halloween the day that we went, and they must have announced some big sale because we had just been there a few days before, right?
Yeah, online is a 60% off sale.
Okay, so that's why. So there was this mad rush. Every time we've been to Spirit this year, there were maybe 4 people in the store?
There's about 100.
Yeah, it was crazy. A huge line that was like an hour long, and there was almost nothing on the shelves, which again, you'll see. And then, same thing, I went to Home Depot because I was going to show you what that was like, and they didn't have that much stuff for Halloween this year. Usually they have a lot more, right?
I think it was certain stores because some people I watched on YouTube lived around here, not super close, but like kind of around, and they had everything they were supposed to. So
yeah, but the stores closest to us did not. We went to probably 3 or 4 different Home Depots, and none of them really had that much Halloween stuff. But again, when I went in to show you what they did have, it was all gone, and they already had all their Christmas stuff out. So again, huge failure. We apologize for that, but at least we got to talk about it a little bit.
It was even hard to get like the man-eating plant I wanted. We had to keep it on hold for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, so we went to one Home Depot because that's where you could buy the man-eating plant. And we had checked a few of them and they didn't have it. He found one online that said they had it in stock, so we drove to that one, which was about half an hour from here, and they didn't have it. So then we found another one that was about half an hour from there, and we called them and they said, yeah, we have it, and we asked if they could put it aside, and they said, yes, but we can only hold it for 30 minutes. And I put it in the GPS and it said it was going to take us exactly 30 minutes to get there. So I might have broken the speed limit a little bit on the way there, but we did get there and they had it, and
stupid. That's that road that was like 1 mile per hour.
Yeah, it was a disaster. There's so much construction. There's a big joke about the Chicago area that we only have 2 seasons, which are winter and construction, and it's basically true. But anyway, so I apologize that this video was not as exciting as I had intended it to be. But
maybe next year.
I have learned from my mistakes, and we'll try to do a nice big Christmas video showing you lots of different things about celebrating Christmas in the Chicago area. And I'm going to start early.
They probably will have a lot of stuff because like every place has so much.
Yeah,
stuff.
every
because,
place.
For Halloween stuff, Menards doesn't have anything.
That's another DIY home improvement store.
But for Christmas, they have like a whole part of their stores.
Yeah, a pretty big section of their store. So we'll go there. We'll go to some other places. There are some stores around here that just sell like Christmas ornaments and home decor items. And then a lot of stores that sell different types of products will have a whole Christmas section during the holidays. So we'll try to show you some of that. And I think we're going to try to do some kind of fun Christmas-related activities and hopefully show you those as well. Just so you can get a little bit of flavor of what Christmas is like around here. And then we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, thanks for watching this. And let us know how you celebrated Halloween this year, if you did at all. And what are some of the things that you like to do for Halloween. And in a couple of days, we'll have another special video for you. I'm not going to talk about that quite yet, but that'll be in a couple of days. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.